You know that moment when someone takes a small shot at you, and you laugh so the room stays easy? That feels mature, but it often teaches people something harsher. Crossing you comes with no real cost. The Stoic shift is not a bigger reaction. It is to stop rewarding disrespect with your attention, your explanation, and your continued access. That is the part most people miss. They think the problem was the joke. Sometimes the deeper problem is the payment that came after it. The rushed laugh, the quick "I'm fine," the extra sentence, the effort to keep everything smooth. You felt the jab. Then you worked to erase it. And the room learned something. You will carry the discomfort for everyone. That is expensive. Not for them, for you. Your chest gets tight. Your smile gets polite. Your voice speeds up right when it should slow down. And that is where power starts leaking. Disrespect stays cheap. You thought you were keeping the peace. You were teaching permission. A joke in a meeting. A little tone shift from a friend. A dismissive line at dinner with family. Nothing dramatic. That is why it spreads. Because the thing that hurts is small enough to deny, but repeated enough to train a pattern. So the first move is not a speech. It is smaller than that. When the jab lands, do not rescue the moment. Do not rush to prove you are relaxed. Do not pay for the jab. You can say, "What do you mean by that?" Then stop, or let your face go still. Then continue without extra warmth. That pause matters. Pressure wants speed, and speed is where your boundary gets stolen. Picture the room. Someone says something slick. A few people half smile. The old reflex says, laugh, explain, or keep it light. But this time, you do less. What do you mean by that? Then silence. Not hostile silence. Clean silence. The kind that makes the other person hear their own line. You do not chase. You do not soften it for them. You do not save them from what they just created. Let that sit. Watch what happens. The smirk fades. The energy shifts. The room recalibrates. Because now the cost is no longer zero. Calm creates consequence. That is what people misunderstand about boundaries. They think the boundary is the sentence. It is not. The boundary is the sentence, plus the behavior around it. Anyone can say, "That's not okay." Very few people can say it without apologizing with their face, their tone, and the next 5 sentences. This is where most people leak power, not in the big conflict, in the tiny reflex to keep access easy. That's why the same people get tested again. The test worked last time. A coworker talks over you once. You laugh it off. Next time, they do it faster. A friend asks for one more favor. You say yes with resentment. Next time, the favor sounds like your role. A relative makes a cutting joke. You stay nice and keep serving. Next time, the joke comes with more confidence. A partner keeps showing up late and brushing it off. You swallow it so the night does not turn tense. Soon, your time starts feeling optional too. It was not only the jab, it was the price you removed after it. Disrespect stays cheap. Cheap things get repeated. The Stoics were sharp here. They did not waste themselves trying to control other people's character. They controlled what their own behavior kept rewarding. That is the adult question. Not, why are they like this? But, what still gets access after the line is crossed? That question changes everything, because respect is not repaired by intensity. It is repaired by structure, cleaner responses, shorter answers, conditions people can feel, not revenge, not theater, just reality. You do not get the same version of me after that. That is a boundary, and it becomes visible in small ways. Your replies slow down. Your tone gets shorter. The extra warmth disappears. The easy availability ends. Access is no longer automatic. This is where the room changes. Because many people do not fear anger. They know how to work around anger. They wait it out. They turn it into your problem. What they respect more is changed access, a calmer edge, a different pace, a person who no longer over-explains, and a person whose nose does not bend because someone else got uncomfortable. Think about a group meeting. Someone repackages your idea as if it came from them. The old version of you either explodes or swallows it. Both usually cost you. One makes you look reactive. The other makes you look easy to erase. The stronger move is quieter. I want to clarify something. Pause. That point came from what I shared earlier. Then continue. No speech. No trembling defense. No plea for fairness. Just a clean correction. Let that sit. The room hears it. The person who blurred the line now feels the line. And you stay intact. Do not pay for the jab. Sometimes the correction is verbal. Sometimes it is structural. You stop staying late for the person who spends your effort carelessly. You stop answering the same loaded text within 30 seconds. Now you stop giving your best tone to someone who keeps testing your limits. Because generosity without terms becomes training. And entitlement grows where your availability has no conditions. Repeated disrespect also leaks through status, through social weight, through the way people feel your word. If your promises are loose, your word gets lighter. If you gossip, people hear weak containment. If you complain all the time, people feel emotional leakage. If you interrupt, you teach chaos, not presence. If you are always available, you make it easy to spend. Different behaviors, same engine. Low consequence, cheap access, light word. That is why some people are not openly insulted, but still quietly undervalued. Their presence has no weight. Too many loose yeses. Too many unnecessary explanations. Too much emotional spill. Was too much effort to be easy. Respect rises when your word becomes heavier than your reaction. Fewer promises. Cleaner follow-through. Less talking. More doing. Less gossip. Fewer complaints. Less frantic self-defense. More steadiness. More selectiveness with access. Calm creates consequence. You stop thinking of respect as something you ask for. You start treating it like something your behavior makes expensive to ignore. A manager drops a last-minute request at 5:24 p.m. Before, you rescued the mess and called it teamwork. Now you say, "I can handle that tomorrow morning," and you stop there. No essay. No guilt smile. They push once. You repeat it once. Same tone. Same answer. Pressure loses momentum. Your sister makes a sarcastic comment in front of everyone. Before, you laughed so nobody felt awkward. Now your face stills. Either you answer the content, not the disrespect. Or you let the bait hang there and move on. No free reset. Your boyfriend or girlfriend says, "You know I'm just like this," after crossing a line again. Before, you translated their pattern into something easier to accept. Now you say, "I heard you. It still doesn't work for me." Then you let the silence do its job. That is not cruelty. That is boundary clarity. Most people wait too long to learn this. They think self-respect begins at the breaking point. It does not. It begins earlier. In the pause. In the shorter answer. In the refusal to carry the room. In the decision not to turn your dignity into social lubrication. You do not need to become feared. You need to become expensive to cross. Because the truth is brutal. People often keep doing what keeps working. And a lot of disrespect keeps working because it is followed by your laughter, your access, your help, your explanation, and your effort to make it feel normal. The jab was small. The lesson was big. Disrespect stays cheap. Not anymore. This is the shift. You stop proving you are good. You stop rushing to show you are easy. You stop treating every pressure moment like a test of your likability. And something changes in the body. The breath slows. The voice settles. The face stops negotiating. You feel the old urge to smooth it over, but you do not obey it. That is dignity. That is self-respect. That is quite a power. No extra sentence. No borrowed guilt. No cheap access. Do not pay for the jab. Let them feel the missing warmth. Let them feel the slower access. Let them feel the cleaner line. Let that sit. And because calm is not surrender here. Calm is structure. Calm creates consequence. So when the next moment comes, make it simple. If it is a live jab, slow the pace and clarify. If it is repeated pressure, shorten the answer and hold it. If it is a pattern, change access. That is the repair. The moment. The pattern. The terms. Not a performance. A policy. And once you live that way, people feel something different around you. Not louder. Heavier. Not colder. Clearer. Your line stops moving. Your word gets weight. Your calm stops serving other people's comfort at your expense. And respect starts returning to the same place it was lost. Your behavior, your terms, your self-respect. If this hit something in you, subscribe and stay close. This channel is for people learning how to stay calm without becoming easy to cross.